Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Authentic Messiah. So in today's video, as you can see in the title, we hit an intense upper body workout, and as you know, I typically hit full body, but my leg was a bit injured on that day, so I thought instead of just not going to the gym at all, I'd get in a nice upper body workout just to get in a bit more volume for the rest of the week. So as you can see right here, I went in and hit an easy set of 8 on 80 kilo bench press, which is a plate and a half on each side. I did move up in weight the next week since this was pretty easy, and yeah, it's been going well. I'm pretty sure I'm well above an 100 kilo bench press in terms of my 1 rep max, but I just haven't tested it yet. But before I even went into those bench press, I started warming up my rotator cuffs, so I just did a couple of exercises. So I did the one where you lift the weights above your head, you open it up that way, and then I did a bit of external rotation of my shoulders since I have pretty bad shoulders, so warming them up prevents a lot of injuries for me and makes the bench press overall a lot more comfortable. So with my bench press setup, I like to get a nice medium powerlifting arch, and I do this for 2 reasons. The first reason that it just makes the lift more efficient since you move the bar a shorter distance. Second of all, studies have shown that a slight decline bench press is better at activating all areas of the chest. So by arching, you turn it into a bit of a decline. And then with my hands, as you can see, my hands are pretty wide because I have really long arms for my height. I'm about 5'9"-ish, and my wingspan is about 6'3", so my ape index is 1.1, which is very large. So I need to grip the bar kind of this wide in order for the movement to not be extremely long, because if I gripped it how normal people gripped it, oh boy, my triceps would get so burnt out. The next exercise that we have is a wide grip lat pull down, and we're leaning back a little bit more with this one to make it more of a horizontal movement so that the traps come into play a bit more. And the reason for this is that my traps are a lagging body part. They're really lagging behind my lats in terms of size. I've got a pretty wide back, but it's a bit 2D, it's a bit thin, so I'm trying to get it thicker this year. This is the main focus for me in terms of my back development. So yeah, leaning back a little bit more, using a bit more of a cheat in order to overload the back. Yeah, it's just my favorite way to train the back, to be honest. So the next movement we're doing here is a standing strict overhead press, and the reason why we're doing it strict instead of adding a leg drive is because when you add a leg drive, you really don't know how much of the movement is being done by your legs rather than your shoulders, and we're trying to progressively overload and get stronger with just our shoulders. So it makes sense to do it strict so that we know that all the weight is coming from our shoulders and triceps, and there's no cheating being involved. If you really wanted to progressively overload it, like just get a couple more reps, then maybe adding a leg drive for the last couple reps would be a good idea, because you still be able to get the eccentric contraction of the weight coming down. But in terms of just my general rule of thumb for doing this exercise, I keep it very strict for all the weight to be on my shoulders. Right here we're doing a second back exercise, and it's these seated cable rows. I really like this exercise for my mid back and my mid traps because it's in a direct plane of motion of the traps themselves, and since that's my lagging part of my back, this is a really good movement for me. Yeah, you're gonna feel the contraction the most when you squeeze your shoulder blades together to really try get that mind muscle connection with the traps and really contract them. And yeah, this is a really good movement to do on my non-deadlift days because your lower back has to support the movement. But on my deadlift days, I'll do a different type of horizontal row, and we're gonna start doing the horizontal rows more. So we just hit a couple sets of high rep dips. So if you want to hit the chest a bit more, make sure you lean forward a bit more to put it at a more advantageous angle for the chest. If you want to keep it on the triceps, then be a bit more upright, and yeah, just manipulate the movement based on what muscle you want to try and preferentialize. The bicep movement for this workout was a barbell curl, and I'm using one of these short barbells that they have at my gym, and the gym was absolutely packed at this time, where there were so many people, so it was kind of hard to get to do this. But either way, we went straight into it, and as you can see, I'm adding a little bit of body English, as Kayla Willard would say. But yeah, I'm cheating a little bit, and the whole reason behind this is to maximize the eccentric contraction, because the eccentric portion of the movement is so important for maximizing muscle damage and muscle protein synthesis. So I really recommend this in terms of maximizing your bicep growth and bicep activation of dumbbell curls or barbell curls. So I did a superset between these bicep curls and these lateral raises, and as you can see on the lateral raises, I'm externally rotating, and that's because external rotation is a lot safer for your shoulder than internal rotation. So I'd really recommend you make this switch in order to preserve your shoulder health. And as you can see, my boy Philip, he's making some gains, he's making some vascular gains, making some vein gains. Yeah, his arms were looking good, so I thought, yeah, I might as well video him. Looking good, looking good. So at this point, it was late in the day, man. We were all trying to get out of the gym. So I wasn't allowing for too much rest in between my bicep curls and lateral raises. So with these lateral raises, man, you see me working, you see me sweating, and we're putting in that work. So this workout was really good actually. Got on a good bit of volume and a good bit of intensity since the rep range was on the middle to lower end. So yeah, I'd really recommend this workout, and yeah, just a bit of flex and footage, a bit of a physique update. The lighting in this gym isn't the best. I really prefer the lighting at my old gym. But yeah, it was decent. You can see I'm making a few back gains. It's getting wider, it's getting slowly thicker. Yeah, man. So if you liked, enjoyed, or learned something new from this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. What the... Whoa.